It's time for the show that brings the magic right to your speakers. Ears up!
Hello, wonderful people. It's time. We were singing during the before the show. Well, I was singing, and people were plugging their ears. So, but that's the way it goes. How's everybody doing? This is Ears Up. We're here for kind of a random show, actually. It's one we call Tips and Tricks, I guess. I don't know. I haven't really figured out a proper name for it yet. But I think I'm going to call it, like, Tips on your next Disneyland vacation or something like that.
Yeah, that'll work.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's really just kind of a bunch of random stuff. I don't know, like how to take better photos or, you know, we all kind of picked a thing that we want to help you guys with. And just have I don't want to say a better vacation because it sounds like you can't have a good vacation without us, which may or may not be true. But
how to go from good to great.
elevate your vacation game.
Well, we go a lot, so I think maybe we just know some secret things.
Just some stuff.
Not even secret. Just,
right.
We've just tried and true.
It's
Our
good to share
preferences.
information.
Yeah.
Well, and also we've done this before, but not for, I don't know, probably over a year.
Yeah, at least.
So I think that there's a lot of changes that have happened in a year that we need to kind of update some people.
Yeah, and never like this either. I mean, we've done them, kind of broken them up, right? Like hotels. We did a whole show on hotels or something like that.
Yeah.
And there's not enough change really to do another entire show on hotels, but I think we're talking about hotels today.
Yep.
Some stuff like that. So,
Right.
you know, it's a weird show, but hey, man, I think you'll get a lot out of it.
Yep.
We also have our close personal friend Jeremy from SpectroRadio joining us here in about 15 minutes for you live folks. We have Taryn Thinks. We also have a yet another press conference. It's a good thing that the press conference room has a month-long rental because we were just in the studio like 2 weeks ago and Taryn had a press conference. Yeah. And you know because we only rented it for a month, so before that runs out, Terrence has a press conference to do. Excuse me, but before that, never wolf your meal down and then go into the studio, man. Excuse me. You can find us on iTunes. You know, I looked on iTunes the other day. We have 73 ratings on iTunes, and I think they're. I don't know if they're all 5 stars. Maybe because I rated myself 5 stars. It shows my rating, but we have 73. That's pretty cool.
That's a lot.
Not bad at all.
That's kind of a lot, right?
Yeah.
We actually, you mentioned this last time, and I forgot to do it since then, but we should go back and look at.
And pull some to read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
I did. TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, wherever greater podcasts are learned it about. We're also on Google Play. If you're a Google Play person, you can get podcasts there. I don't know if you knew that or not. You can find us on social media. We're Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. Any feedback on the show goes to Taryn at earsup-podcast.com. And for those of you who think Taryn has been ignoring you, we save the feedback for the shows. Rarely do we reply, to you, unless it's like a time-sensitive thing. Like, I'm going to the park tomorrow and I need the best churro cart or whatever. But the past couple of months, our email has been wonked out, and so we haven't received. We received all your emails, but they weren't being forwarded. So now we've cleared that up. And we've been kind of running through the feedback. So it's been a while. So if you've heard a couple shows and go, wow, I guess they hated my feedback, whatever. That is definitely not the case. We value each and every person's feedback.
Yes.
Unless they're critical, and in which case we love them a little bit more. Any compliments goes to Terrence, Terrrence, at earsup-podcast.com. You can say hi to Bev. And anything else comes to me, Jason, at earsup-podcast.com. We also have a blog. Bev, I know, is hard at work at her latest post for our Disney Animated Classics review, where we go through the theatrical released animated classics of Disney and just see if they're kind of relevant and how it holds up and what's going on, how we like it,
I'm working so hard on that. What was it that I was working on again?
You're doing great, I'm sure, whatever it was.
Saludos amigos.
Oh, good. Yeah, thanks for saying I would do that.
My favorite, Gloves, is joining us here looking very dapper.
Hi, everybody.
Oh.
Very nice.
Hey there, buddy. Look at that.
Hi, friend.
Snazzy.
Except
Grab a
for
good
that
chair.
thing on your arm where it looks like you got run over by a car.
Oh.
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 You can support great radio like this via our Amazon link. You can go reoccurring donations. You can buy covers, whatever you need to do. If you have any information, if you want to find any information on how to support us, go to earsup-podcast.com or, what earsuppodcast.com. I think it redirects. Anyway, our Amazon link is there. For those of you who have had issues finding the link, make sure you don't have any ad blocker software on. So I have like Ad Blocker Plus, and so it won't show up, and it's on the right-hand side. Someone sent in some feedback the other day, going like, "Oh, is there like a coupon code or whatever?" Because I can't find your link. Unfortunately, not. But check and see if your Ad Blocker software is on. You can be a one-time donor. You can be a recurring donor. You guys help keep the lights on and help keep the show going. So I really appreciate it. And of course, go to getcoviers.com. You can buy coviers. You can buy churro shirts there. All that kind of stuff. We do have friends. Oddly enough, and friends with stuff, friends who support us very much so. So you can go to earsup-podcast.com to the About Us page, and there's a section called Friends of Ears Up, and you can support people like Lulu Gumshoe. She has a shirt that she made, a little beer shirt, and she helped design, or she drew the churro shirts and the turkey leg shirts. So if you want to support cool people like that, go to the Friends of Ears Up page on our page. Okay, Taryn.
What are we doing?
Oh, you know what we're doing.
I have so many windows open right now. That's what we're doing. So I really love doing cartwheels.
Okay.
And as an adult, it's kind of weird to do cartwheels, so I don't really do them very often.
Okay.
But every time I'm in like a room by myself, like a big open room or a long hallway that's open and I'm by myself, I always think about doing a cartwheel, like every single time, without a doubt. And so the other day, I was in my office.
Oh God!
And there's a long hallway, and I was like, oh my God, now would be like the perfect time. Like, there's no pictures on the wall. There's nothing that's gonna like hurt me or hurt the wall or anything. And I looked down the hallway, like the perpendicular hallways, and there was nothing going on. So I was like, all right. And so I did a cartwheel in the middle of my office. In the middle of the day, and then it was really exciting, by the way.
Okay.
Like, it was very exhilarating. Like, I got done, I was like, wow, I like totally just did that. And then I had this instant fear of there being a security camera.
Oh my God!
And like somebody actually watching that later on. And
How would you explain yourself?
I couldn't. There is literally no way to explain that.
Yeah, well, look, when America's Funniest Video starts, and if you're on it...
I better get that $10,000.
I'm not even sure I can do a cartwheel anymore, so I give you props.
Okay, well, so neither did I. But I can.
Is it one of those, like, where you think you can, but if you watch it, you're really just like a rolling L shape?
Yes.
Well, no,
You
'cause
don't
I was
really
like-
do the whole, like, thing?
No, like, that's kind of what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, if you're going to do this, first of all, you have to do it fast.
Yes. Yes.
Because there are people here. And second, there's no second. You have to do it fast. And so... Anyway, so I did it fast, and so I just, like, went for it and did it as good as I could. And I think I did, like, an excellent Olympic-style cartwheel.
Nice.
Olympic style.
Olympic style.
So you had, like, the unitard on and... No?
The Olympic
No.
style, they don't use their hands, right? They just kind of
you
flip
can.
over.
No,
You
well,
know what I mean?
Is
Like
that
with the-
technically a cartwheel? I think it's just a flip.
no, a cartwheel you have to use your hands because otherwise you
Oh,
don't
okay.
look like a cart.
I'm sorry, you don't look like
A
a...
cartwheel.
What?
A cartwheel.
The wheel of a cart.
The wheel of a cart.
Okay.
Okay.
You
Cartwheel.
don't look like a cart.
Cart.
Cartwheel.
I think you don't look like a wheel.
A cartwheel. The wheel of a cart.
I know, but you're like, you have to use your hands or else you don't look like a cart. Ah.
Okay, well, yeah.
Okay, got
But
it.
you know what I meant.
I'm going to be honest with you, I never actually realized why it was called a cartwheel until this exact moment.
I'm going to be honest with you, that's probably not what it means.
Yeah, it does, because you do this, and then your hands are and your legs are out, and then you look like a cartwheel.
Do you really? You really look like just Michelangelo's. What is that painting? The
yeah,
Art of
that
Man
too.
or whatever it is. Terrence, I'm sure is
You know
looking at
what?
the
I
etymology
actually
of
was going to
cartwheel.
Google it, and then halfway through it, I was like, no, I'm not.
We're just gonna let it
No,
lie.
we're just gonna let it go.
All right, fair enough.
Let it go.
Fair enough. Speaking of letting things go, Terrence.
Yes.
So we've gotten a couple pieces of feedback on social media and stuff like that regarding the Disney Jeopardy game
Yes,
that
I
we
know.
played last time. Apparently, a couple of things that you said were incorrect. They were incorrect trivia. So I'm gonna let you finish, but why don't you go ahead and walk into the press conference room and let me prep everybody. What we have to do, I think, and Taryn, you brought this up the other day, is maybe re-listen to that show to make sure that the winner was actually the winner.
Yeah.
Because there were at least 3 questions that were incorrect.
I can promise you that the winners are going to know, and they're going to tell us. So we probably don't even have to do
Yeah,
that
that's
work.
true.
All right, Terrence, you're not even here right now. You're in the press conference room. Okay, so hold on a second. Ladies and gentlemen, I now present to you Terrence Conrad.
Page and complete the video.
God! Stop it!
Who's talking during the press conference?
I know.
Please stop.
Jim, seriously, you're going to get kicked out again. Nobody likes
Highly
this.
inappropriate.
Security.
Nobody likes it when you do this stuff. All right, thank you all for participating in this press conference. Oh,
Honestly, Brenda.
yeah, I know, right? This is not your place. Okay, all right, Terrence, go ahead.
Brenda.
My fellow Disneyland enthusiasts.
They love.
What is going on?
Oh, dear.
Just go for it. Just go for it. People are rude, man.
Brenda just won't stop talking.
Brenda.
Just talk over her. She's
Yeah.
rude.
Security.
My fellow Disneyland enthusiasts.
Pieces of good advice.
This is ridiculous. This press conference is over.
Literally the
All right,
worst
I'll
thing
do
I've
it.
ever done.
Jim,
Okay.
knock it
I'll
off.
do it without the sound.
You're so seriously. You go. No more free coffee for you. You can have the Danish. Finish the Danish. All right, go ahead, Terrence, please.
my fellow Disneyland enthusiasts. This is the 71st time that I have spoken to you from the studio, where so many segments have brought joy to the masses. Each show, I've done my best to discuss with you and my co-host issues within and relating to Disneyland that I believed would affect you the most. In all of the decisions that I've made in my current position, I've always tried to do what I believed was best for you and do so with dignity and integrity. I have always felt that it was my duty to preserve and make every opportunity to complete the show in a way that would warrant your trust. But something has happened. With the discussions that I've had with those involved with the show and those who are fans, it seems as though I have done less than my due diligence to ensure that every word that exited my mouth was 100% correct. I would have preferred to have swept this occurrence under the rug, but that would not be fair to you. Because I have sinned against you, and I beg your forgiveness. I do not plan to whitewash my sin. I cannot call it a mistake, but rather me not doing my due diligence. I have no one to blame but myself. I do not lay the fault or blame of the charge at anyone else's feet, for no one is to blame but Terrence. I take responsibility. I take the blame. I take the fault. To those of you who have stood with me through this difficult weeks, to my family, my friends, and everyone in the studio besides Jason, I will be eternally grateful to you. And to those who have felt that they were not able to give me their support, let me say that I have no bitterness towards you, and I hope one day to regain your trust. Thank you, and God bless America. There will be no questions.
Good job, Terrence. Good job.
Yes.
I feel bad. I'm not
No,
going to say it.
you have to do it.
Well, okay, I
Are
will.
we roasting Terrence
So-
right now?
I know, how you
Picking
gonna
him
roast
when he's
me
down?
after-
I just wanted to
How you gonna
point
roast a
out
dude
that
up
this
there?
is the 72nd time you've spoken to this.
Are you sure?
It is, yeah.
Oh, I actually counted all the episodes that were out. 72nd time. I'll have another press conference about that. Is that okay?
We.
I'm just kidding.
Good job, buddy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm glad Charlene and Deborah quieted down.
I know.
It was Brenda. It was mostly Brenda.
Yeah, it's kind of a jerk.
That Brenda. Let's get Jeremy on the line. Wait, let me load his. Here, let me call him.
Good job,
wait,
Terrence.
we don't want to do that. Hold on.
Thank
Stop.
you.
What
That
am I
went
doing?
way better than my press conference.
Jeremy, you're with us, buddy. Hello, my friend.
I must be on a delay because I was in the middle of watching a press conference.
How you doing, man?
And now I don't know what's going to happen at the end of it. I have to listen in.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, if you're watching on the live stream, there is a little bit of a delay.
Yeah.
There were some tears. There was some uncomfortability, but at the end of the day, there were some hugs, and that's really what matters the most.
I actually got booed off the
Well,
stage.
that's good. Well, no, not good that you got booed off the stage. But,
Right.
I'm liking. Well, I don't know. I'm a little concerned that there have to be so many press conferences these days. I mean, Karen just did one. It's like.
We're
Things are
running
pretty
roughshod
controversial.
here. Yeah, they are. They're really controversial. I think we need to start putting a trigger warning at the beginning of each episode.
I have to say, though, I have sympathy or maybe empathy, one or the other, for Terrence, because when you come on here and give out info, I'm always nervous that there's going to be feedback that's like, hey, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's part of it, man. That's part of it, and that's what I think we want to have on the show, right? Is it's something I started from the beginning talking to everybody about. Is if we're going to put out information and facts, I want them to be as accurate as possible. Everybody makes mistakes, of course. There's information that's incorrect out there. Even authors put out incorrect information in their books. So it happens. But part of it is owning up to that and being like, yeah, that was wrong. And then we just like to have a little fun with it because, I don't know, that's what we do, right?
Yeah, I love it. I just can't believe you can fit that many photographers in there.
Well, we're renting a space next door.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So
Brenda's not coming back.
Brenda's not coming back. No,
She fired.
She can't shut up.
she's gone. Okay. Hey, before we get too far afield here.
Join us as we unravel the magic behind some of Disney's most beloved pieces of music. It's Spectro time. This magic night, a million stars will play beside us, cast a spell of light. Glimmering, shimmering, carouseling round the world tonight.
Jeremy is here again. No, we got you now. It's just not right without the Spectrum Magic intro.
No, I have to have it. I have it. I actually play it when I get to work every day.
It's just on your phone, man. You walk around with your own personal theme music.
Hey, coworkers, it is Spectro time.
And they're like, oh my God, I know. No, Jeremy, it's actually 8:30.
Yeah, like I get there that early. Okay.
All right, let's do this, man. What are we talking about today?
So the last time I was on, we went abroad and we talked about some stuff that was going on in Tokyo and Paris with Fan Illusion. So this week we're going to bring it back, and we are back in the States. So we're going to talk about something that debuted in Disneyland but actually owes its creation to Walt Disney World. So 1971, Walt Disney World is opening, and this interesting thing happens because where they built it at the time, Orlando was really a rural place. Like there wasn't much happening around there other than, this new park. So there were no lights around. So when you walked out of the Magic Kingdom, for anyone who's been there, I know you guys have because you did that whole episode hating on it. But
Too soon.
Oh boy.
I love that one. So when you walk out, there's a big lake called the Seven Seas Lagoon, and then it's pretty much just darkness back then. And so the Imagineers, being the Imagineers, said, that's a canvas. So we can do something with this. So one evening, a few months before Disney World opened, they made a mock-up of a whale with Christmas lights on chicken wire and on like some sort of floating platform and sent it out into the water. And thus was born the electrical water pageant number 1.
It's coming. Disney World has some of the weirdest music, dude.
Love it.
What, you don't want to listen to that on a loop all day?
I actually kind of do.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like I don't know. It's endearingly irritating.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
very strange.
There's a lot of things down there I could characterize as that.
That's true.
Have you ever been on that German worm ride in Bugs Land? That's the
Yes, the choo-choo train or
30-second
whatever.
ride?
Yeah, Heimlich's choo-choo train.
Yeah,
Oh, I just call it German worm.
German word.
That's also correct.
So 1971, Disneyland at this time has really not a big nighttime business. So there's occasional fireworks in the summer and the evenings, and they really don't have the date night at Disneyland thing going on. And they also at the same time have an enormous morale problem because the opening of Walt Disney World has kind of sucked away all the attention from the company. So to quell this, they decided to take the electrical water pageant to the streets of Disneyland, thus giving us the Main Street Electrical Parade, number 2.
The Main Street Electrical Parade.
I've only seen this once, and even just hearing that little snippet gives me so much joy.
Are you tearing up a little bit?
No.
You must be really excited. I mean, it's
You're
so
tearing up.
appropriate that- you must be feeling pretty good because you guys are getting it back.
I am so excited.
I did
I
not
can't
know
even
that
tell
until
you.
today.
Boo.
What?
Whoa.
Greg.
I love Paint the Night. I love it so much.
Really?
I do.
More than... Get out.
Anyway, continue, Jeremy.
You muted him, right?
Yeah, I muted him.
Okay.
So, originally to build this parade, Disney contracted out a Chicago company. And this company that they hired actually had been responsible for decorating Michigan Avenue in Chicago every year during Christmas with thousands of Christmas lights. So they thought that they would be really good at doing this. But as parade launch time neared, this company in Chicago could not figure out the technology to make the parade come together. So a few weeks shy of the intended launch, Disney Imagineers flew out to Chicago just to check on things because it's getting close and they haven't really heard much. And they found a complete disaster. Some of the units hadn't even been started.
Oh, gosh.
So they were like, thanks, we're going to take this back. And they shipped all of the pieces back out to California where Imagineering took over and finished it. So getting this parade ready for opening night was right down to the wire. They only had a couple weeks to finish it, rehearse it, and launch it. So the original rehearsal the night before the debut was a complete disaster. Floats were running out of control. One ran into a building. Some of them completely fell apart.
Jeez.
Amazing.
But as they say, a bad dress rehearsal, a great show. And despite all the issues with the rehearsal, the original launch night went off successfully. So the original parade launched on June 17th, 1972, but it wasn't as you would picture it today. It started off in two-dimensional flat screens. So if you have seen that electrical water pageant, because it's still running in Disney World, it's more like that, just flat screens being towed down Main Street, with the exception of the lead float, I think, which was the Blue Fairy. That was three-dimensional. So they retired that original version of the parade and relaunched it in 1997, and that would be more familiar to what you'd see today, where all the floats are kind of like three-dimensional. So that same year, on June 11th, Walt Disney World received its own version of the parade, which ran simultaneously with Disneyland's until 1991, before it was sent off for the opening of Disneyland Paris and to make way for SpectroMagic. The Disneyland version continued on until 1996 before being retired from that park to make way for something called Light Magic, which is a very much maligned replacement for the electrical parade that did not last very long.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
I think it lasted about 7 months, and people hated it so much that they just got rid of it.
Wow. Disney, they have a thing for naming like light. Everything is light. Paint, or, you know what I mean? Like paint the night. Well, that's not really light, but it has tons of lights. You know what I mean?
Rhymes.
It's a whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I guess.
See, Jeremy. Whatever.
So the Disneyland version was actually then sent to Walt Disney World in 1999 for their Millennium Celebration, where it ran until 2001. But after initial attendance at California Adventure was really far below expectation, they decided to take Electrical Parade back, but this time put it in California Adventure in an attempt to increase attendance at the flagging park. But since there is no Main Street USA in California Adventure, they had to change the name of it from Main Street Electrical Parade to just Disney's Electrical Parade, which is what it says even today. So it ended its run at California Adventure in April of 2010, so it could be then sent back to Magic Kingdom as part of the Summer Nightastic, where it is currently scheduled to run until September 5th, which is coming up, before it will be shipped back to Disneyland, where it is expected to return to Main Street in spring 2017. Now, the Main Street Electrical Parade is not just an American occurrence. So I said that it was sent to Disneyland Paris, where it ran from 92 to 2003. Tokyo Disneyland had the original version of the parade that ran from 1985 to 1995, and then it was replaced by Fan Illusion, only to be revived again as Tokyo Disneyland Electrical Parade Dreamlights, which started in 2001. Now, this has a new orchestrated version of that original synthesized soundtrack, so it's not as endearingly annoying. Number 3.
Tia.
It's like the Cinderella version.
Very
It's
intense.
like World of Color.
I like that so much better.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I like the other one better.
Well,
what was
so
that one
if
called?
you
Sorry,
hear-
Jim. What was that one
if
called
you-
again?
That's Tokyo Electrical Parade Dreamlights.
Disney has a thing with lights in their names, don't you think?
Like paint the light. Is that what it was?
Go ahead.
So actually, if you hear all like 26 minutes of Dreamlights, it actually starts off just like it sounds like we're used to the synthesizer, and it slowly over the parade becomes more and more orchestral until it finishes up like that. So you kind of
cool.
get a bit of both.
I like that.
But Disney parks are not the only place where the Electrical Parade has been spotted over the years. So the Main Street Electrical Parade actually served as the halftime show for the 1978 Orange Bowl in Miami, number 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight the Orange Bowl honors the most unique event staged in America in 1977. Disneyland and Walt Disney World's incredible spectacular of nighttime pageantry and imagination in electrical sights and sounds. The Main Street Electrical Parade.
I like the caveat. In 1977. It was a low year for stage performances.
That would have been so much better than Katy Perry.
No.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, essentially, Katy Perry was the Main Street Electrical Parade. She
came
came in on a lion. Or whatever.
It's a
Right.
valid point.
You're going to hear her roar. Come on.
Whether you like it or not.
She's a firework or cracker or something.
To be fair, it was not the Super Bowl; it was the Orange Bowl.
That's a good point.
It's a step
And
down.
I can attest, having been in a college marching band, I've been in the Orange Bowl halftime show, so it's really the water. It's not really that hard to get into.
We have to look up that video and post it on our Facebook page.
Oh, yeah.
The Orange Bowl or me?
You. Good luck finding that one.
You could YouTube both and find each. So yeah, actually, I would say go to YouTube. Anyone who's a real Disney nerd, if you want to see this, like 1978 Orange Bowl halftime show, it will come up. Okay, so then the parade was actually seen in 1997 going down Broadway in Manhattan's Times Square, but this time under the title Hercules Electrical Parade. And this was to honor the opening of Disney's brand new New Amsterdam Theater and also the debut of the film Hercules in theaters, number 5.
Coming to life, at least alive right here in Times Square, is the legend of Hercules, and it's spectacular.
It really is something. Flying above the street is the magical winged horse Pegasus. And riding on his back is Hercules himself.
Created especially.
They had to specifically mention that Pegasus is magical.
So interestingly, I just wish Disney did stuff like this. Like, why can't Paint the Night be the Super Bowl halftime show?
Yeah,
That would be
just
amazing.
Travel around. I mean, that. I like it too. I like when they do that kind of stuff, and I don't know where their direction is. Maybe they have one. Maybe back then they didn't, and they were like, yeah, that would be fun, but now it costs too much money. I don't know.
Yeah, it might be. So interestingly, Disney arranged for all the lights on, because like it's really weird to put the electrical parade on Broadway. It's like really bright there. So they arranged to have all the lights on Broadway turned out for 8 blocks leading up to their theater.
Wow.
And they actually got all the businesses to comply, with the exception of Warner Brothers, Disney's.
That's amazing.
Surprise, surprise.
So the music behind the electrical parade. The main theme of the parade is called the Baroque Hoedown. It was originally created in 1967 by early synthesizer pioneers Jean-Jacques Perret and Gershon Kingsley, and it first appeared on the vinyl record album Kaleidoscopic Vibrations, Electronic Pop Music from Way Out, which I specifically sought out and purchased on eBay for this segment.
Ooh,
So
wow.
I really want you to enjoy number 6.
I love it. And we're marching. And we're marching.
I might be more obsessed with that than I am the original song. That beginning, very 80s, very...
80s sitcom. That's what it sounded like to me.
Oh, not to me. To me, it was like 80s, like, I don't know, like Depeche Mode or Pet Shop Boys or something like that. I loved it.
Oh, nice. I could get you a track.
Okay.
So for the parade version, music producer Don Dorsey used 11 synthesizers to recreate that soundtrack. And the parade opens with a digitized voice. This is actually the voice of the legendary Jack Wagner, who was for a long time the voice of Disneyland and Walt Disney World, and who can be famously heard here, number 7.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
So they just ran his voice through a digitizer, and he does the welcome.
Nice.
The music over the years has been released and adapted many times. There was a nod to the Baroque Hoedown in the Main Street Electrical Parade's successor, Light Magic, which can be heard here, number 8.
That was intense, dude.
I just pictured like Lil Wayne rapping on top of that or something like that.
Beat, dude.
I kind of liked how they had that little, like, it didn't last for the whole thing, but I just liked that there was like a little hat tip towards it in there. But I have a friend who saw it completely differently, and she calls it a slap in the face to every person, because they were so sad to have seen their beloved parade gone, and then they just sort of like jabbed him with that.
Well, that is kind of true. Like, hey, remember that thing you liked? Here's a little bit of it.
And out back to the scrap.
Right.
It was covered by the famous group They Might Be Giants, number 9.
Nice.
It's amazing.
I've never heard that before. That's amazing.
It was also included in the 50th anniversary fireworks display, Remember Dreams Come True. And there's a cover of it on the new album, Deconstructed, which is available in Disney Parks now and on iTunes. Of course, it forms the part of the base of the soundtrack to the new Paint the Night Parade in both Hong Kong Disneyland and Disneyland in Anaheim for about 10 more days. Number 10.
Greg's sad. Sad Greg.
I love it so much.
I love
Well,
it so much.
you can go to Disney World. That's probably where it's going to end up.
Hard pass.
Wow.
There's just the bass in that section, man. You know, my headphones were vibrating. Like, wow.
Yeah. So that's it. That's the Main Street Electrical Parade, and it lives on. It's going to Disneyland. So
I'm excited about it, man. I have, one of the earliest memories I have of, this is going to sound pretty dumb, is looking through photos of my first time at Disneyland. And, the blown out, everyone's trying to use their flash, right? It just, I don't know, looks terrible. But, like, photos of that thing going by. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But I don't ever remember actually really seeing it except in Disney World. So I'm excited about it. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, Jeremy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. I got a message on Facebook yesterday, in fact, and it was someone who said, hey, I just found your station because I was listening to Ears Up, and I'm loving it.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any donations we get a quarter of. So just, we haven't talked about that, but we'll talk about it on the air right now because it's comfortable.
Great. So if hold on, let me just add this up. I'll write you a check for $0.
Okay, great. Yeah. Me too. Actually, keep it, and we'll just add it on to yours. Jeremy, where can people listen to you and all your great music?
You can find us at SpectroRadio.us. You can go to TuneIn and search SpectroRadio. You can go download the Stream licensing app. That makes sure that all of the artists get paid. And if you wouldn't mind supporting independent radio hobbyist broadcasters, it's free, it's easy. Go to radiodiversity.org and sign up. That's all you have to do. They won't bombard you with emails. It just shows that you support us and helping us stay alive so we don't go away.
Excellent. Yes, everyone do the things that Jeremy just told you, please.
Yes.
All right, thanks, man. When are we seeing you in the park or what's happening? What's happening with our lives not intertwining yet?
A week from this very moment, I will be on a plane barreling towards Disneyland for Labor Day weekend to run the half. And I'm going to be back out there in October, it looks like now, and possibly November.
October
Oh,
what?
wow.
Yeah.
Let us know. Let us know when.
I
when
just
October.
left. I was there until Monday.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh, look at you. Traveling everywhere, man. All right, keep us posted, man, because I think a lot of us are going late October, early November, so.
I will keep you posted. And I'm back on the 8th.
Sure. Do you want to be?
Yeah. I got to come up with something.
Then you're on. All right, buddy. Thanks, man.
Have a good night.
All right, you
Sure, you
too.
too.
Bye.
Guys.
I like that guy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I loved that.
That was
segment,
my
too.
favorite.
Yeah.
I forgot to play him out.
Oh.
It's fine.
Good thing you're doing it now.
It's fine.
He gone.
He gone. He gone.
I'm bummed I didn't know he was in the park. Would have hooked up this weekend.
Oh, that's right. You were there.
Yeah.
Oh,
about that.
I was the one eating all the churros.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm glad you're here. So before we start on that, or should
I feel
we
like I
say
should
it?
take your blood pressure.
Still not sitting right.
Yeah, man. So Greg here did. Here, let me turn off this thing. So Greg, you did the churro challenge.
Thank you.
You pulled it.
You pulled a Terrence.
You successfully did it.
Hashtag pull the
Yeah,
trigger.
did I pull a Terrence?
You pulled a turn.
Is that what we called it?
What did you do?
Yeah.
So
Tell
I
me what you
I
did.
ate a churro from every churro cart in Disneyland.
All 9 of them.
All 9 of them.
So
So not a churro in every land,
which is pulling a Terrence.
That's
What-
pulling a Terrence.
which is what we talked
You
about.
pulled a
that.
Greg.
Yeah, you pulled a Greg.
You pulled
Oh
a
no
diabetes.
no! Don't get it twisted. I've eaten one from every cart as well.
Yeah, but
But pulling a
I
Terrence
believe that.
in our vernacular is a churro in every land.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah. So
I didn't
you
want to tell you while you were doing it. And I was like, this is too
You're
fun.
eating
I
too
know.
much.
We were following
You're
you.
eating too much. Stop
He's
it.
already had 3 in one land. Why?
Yeah, we were following you on Facebook, and Taryn's like, I think he's doing one from every cart. I'm like, no, that guy's insane, but he's not that insane. And she goes, I kind of don't want to tell him. I go, don't. It's gonna ruin it because he's going above and beyond. He's not only breaking the record, he's shattering it.
Yes, you did. You pulled a Michael Phelps. Good job.
That's
I'm
it.
proud of you.
Pulled the gloves.
How was it?
Well,
Was
once
it?
it started, it was like, all right, well, then I got to do them all. Right.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's not like I'm just going to stop at 5.
How many carts are there?
9.
There's 9 carts.
9 carts in Disneyland.
God.
Yeah.
9 churros, and I saw you bought at least 2 at one of them.
Well, I mean, so the rule was you couldn't share.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
had them all. So, you know, I felt bad eating 9 churros to myself. My kids didn't have
like, no.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know the rule was you couldn't share. 'Cause
Yeah.
I totally shared mine.
I know. That's why you haven't
that's
done
why
it
you
yet.
haven't pulled a
No,
Terrence
I
yet.
didn't even succeed when I was sharing.
So, because of the size of our group, on average, we each had like 1.3 churros. Right.
Right.
So it was like on average. It was,
Yeah.
it was better.
Yeah.
Except for I ate 9 of them.
So how was it?
Six of you at 9.
How was this? Take us through the moments.
It was fine. So I ended up starting at the farthest part of the park that I could get to. So we were in Critter Country, and then we kind of worked back from there.
Yeah.
So I bundled the churros. So we started out, you know, kind of one churro, trying to space out based on what we were doing wasn't going to work out. So, you know, let me hit all 3 in this area, kind of let that digest, hit the next 3.
Okay.
Kind of go like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I hit a power hour where I kind of did, I think, 4 in 1 hour, just so I can get those.
And then the next hour, did you hit the sugar crash hour where you just laid on the ground and fell into a coma?
Yeah, I
slept on
didn't
Small
have
World.
to eat dinner. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think it's like the hair of the dog, where you know if you stop eating sugar, then you crash. So the secret to not crash is to
Just
never
gotta
stop
maintain
eating
it.
sugar. Yeah,
Okay.
maintain that thing.
I felt a combination of, you know, it was my proudest
Like
moment
proud,
and my
right.
saddest moment when I finished that 9th churro.
Collectively,
You know, I was standing in line for my 9th churro, and I looked up, and it's great moments with Mr. Lincoln. I'm like, is this really a great moment? I don't know if it is.
Lincoln would be proud.
Yeah.
I feel like he would
saluted
be
you.
proud.
I feel like we're on the same page. You know, his great moments, my great moments.
They're
about
intertwining,
they're
man.
about once the same.
Well, we were talking. Taryn and I were talking about trying to get some sort of like custom pins made for anybody who pulls a Terrence. But now, I feel like we need one if you pull a Greg, or if you pull a not Greg, I guess.
That might get a little expensive if we have multiple
I know.
pins, so maybe we should just decide to stick with one of
We
them.
could just say
Yeah,
that pulling
I
a
can just-
Terrence is having all 9 churros. Having 9.
No, we can't change it. No, it's one in each land. That's a Terrence.
Yeah.
Well,
Greg just did it, and he just did it.
Stupid.
Did it all the way.
right,
just
right.
owned it.
We'll just modify the pin. Like, I'll get a Sharpie out. And put
Yeah,
something
we
else on
can.
it.
Greg can
Yeah.
have
Like a
you know how
Terrence
like
Plus.
some like pins have like the dangly thing. We can put a
Yeah.
dangly that says like,
Tassels?
but Greg did a Greg. But Greg pulled a Greg.
That's fine. I don't need recognition. Recognition is just being here talking about.
It's surviving.
Yeah. I do gotta say, so if anybody else is going to do this, you can document your achievement because every receipt actually identifies the true cart that you bought it from.
Yeah.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought just it would all say Disneyland or Disneyland concessions, and it was like,
Yeah.
no.
It's the
Each
actual
chart
one,
or each cart says exactly what it is.
I'm assuming they would give you like GPS coordinates too. I mean, they want to know, precisely where that came from in case
Yeah,
anything
'cause-
happened, man.
This guy's gonna keel over right here. when you
Backtrack
know
where the heart
you
attack.
bought. Yeah.
Do
That's
you
crazy,
do you
man.
now crave churros or do you never want a churro again?
I think I've hit my limit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not excited about going back and having churros. So
Fair
then
enough.
the next day was everything else. So it was like the raspberry macaroons from Jolly Holiday.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what we did the next.
So you didn't lose your sweet tooth.
No, I really don't like sweets. 'Cause
I don't like
I
him
don't
either,
believe
man.
you.
I don't like him either, but I like the churros, and I like the Matterhorn macaroons from the Jolly Holiday Bakery. Those are the 2 things that I really enjoy eating at the parks, and then all the mixed drinks at Trader
Everywhere.
Sam's or whatever. Yeah, but I don't really
All
do
the
the
mixed
sweets like cake, and I don't. That's not my thing. Like where you go to like downtown Disney and they have the cupcakes with like 6 inches of frosting on it. That's not my thing.
yeah, or like the dipped marshmallows and all that kind of
No,
stuff.
those
Yeah.
are real good.
No,
You're wrong.
I'm just saying.
There's a confectionery. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
next to Winnie the Pooh that I'd never discovered before, and Abby wandered in there, and I was just like, Fudge.
That place is great.
It was so good. Yeah.
Literally all of the fudge.
All the fudge. It was all the fudge, and
That could be pulling a Beverly. Hit all those places now.
I don't recommend it. It was expensive.
Eat
and
all the fudge in the park. That's
Tell me
pulling a
what
bev. Well, I'm glad you survived, Greg, and I'm glad you did it.
Yeah,
because you are.
That was my souvenir. That was my $36 worth of souvenir from the park.
Nice.
Okay, let's get to our tips show. I guess we'll figure out a name later.
Are we doing any feedback, or are we not doing that? Are we doing that later?
That's a good point. Let's do it. Let's see if we have time for it after the show because we're already 45 minutes in.
And we haven't started the show.
And we haven't started the show. Well, we sort of did, but we haven't started the main portion.
Okay.
So we
That's
may throw that feedback into next episode.
That works.
Okay. So so here we are. It's the tips show, and we're gonna tell you a couple. I don't know. What are we gonna do, Terrence? Just start. I don't know what to say anymore.
Okay.
Wow, that was a
Right.
really good.
You like that?
You're great.
I know. I fell apart there for a second because I was like, I don't know what to say, and I got caught in this like loop of going, well, whatever I say is going to sound dumb. Well, it doesn't matter. Just get on with the show. But it needs an intro, and then I just broke.
You broke. Broken.
I broke.
Okay, well, we're going to go over different tips, so different things that we like to do in the park. Some of the things that we have learned.
Yes. Go ahead.
Some of the things that we have learned, as well as personally for me, some of the food items that I enjoy, and also drinks as well. So of course,
Weird.
Of course, right?
Sometimes I just like the way people. I laugh at the way people say stuff because it makes me laugh. I don't know why, but you're
Okay.
like some of the things I enjoy, like the food. I don't know. It's funny. Sorry.
Does
go
your
ahead.
paper say churro?
No, actually, I didn't include churros on this, but of course, eat churros.
It's a given.
So the first, I'm going to go through some of the food items that I like at the parks, and I also included some in downtown Disney because a lot of times people don't think about leaving the parks, but staying in the resort to go and eat. And there's
Okay.
some good places in downtown Disney. So the first thing I would say is at the Alfresco Tasting Terrace. It's actually right above the Golden Vine Winery in California Adventure. They have
okay. Yeah.
So they have the some 3 tenderloin sliders. They're cooked between rare and medium rare, which is perfect for me for tenderloin, and they are delicious. Also, it's not very busy up there most of the time as well. Because most of the people are at the winery, so head on up there.
That is a good spot to kind of go and hide. And we talked about it on actually one of the few first shows that we've done.
Right.
Because especially when they were building Cars Land, you can kind of go up there and sort of see what's happening maybe, but not really. It is a cool little hiding spot, yeah. And I think it's first come, first serve.
It is first come, first serve. And it overlooks Paradise Bay. It overlooks that whole area, so it's really neat to go there. Personally, besides churros, the best thing in either park in my opinion, is at the Award Wieners. It's the veggie portobello mushroom Philly.
Yeah, that's your jam.
Dude,
I remember you mentioning it before. I still haven't had it.
it is amazing for being completely vegetarian, which I'm a carnivore. It is very good.
And
Really?
from a place that serves hot dogs.
Yeah, no, it's bomb. It really is. I definitely recommend you get this. Also, in Disneyland at the Bengal Barbecue right by Indiana Jones, they have safari skewers, which are bacon-wrapped asparagus.
So good. I was actually, if that wasn't on your list, I was going to jump in and add them. Sorry. I apologize
It's
for my
okay.
outburst.
I'm glad that you're
Somebody
into
bumped
it.
into me and knocked mine on the ground once, and she was like, I'm so sorry, I work here. Do you want me to get you some more? And I was like,
Yes.
Oh, they're bomb. So good. Also in Disneyland proper, at the Carnation Cafe, check out the fried pickles. They have a really, really good house sauce that they have with it that you dip it in, and also the fried chicken. It's pretty good.
Chicken fried chicken. Okay.
It's like a chicken fried steak, but it's chicken.
So it's what?
It's chicken fried steak, but it's chicken.
Yeah, don't overthink it. It's just chicken fried chicken.
That's what Walt wanted to call
Yeah.
it, chicken fried chicken. Okay. California Adventure at Carthay. I mean, come on. The tostaditas, little tostadas with mole verde pork. They're really good. Cove Bar lobster nachos.
They're okay. They're all right.
Oh man,
No, they sound bad, but they're good.
I'm a fan. I'm
They're all right.
big time fan of those things. Also, this is for Jason.
Okay.
Cone number 5 at the Cozy Cone Hotel.
Yeah.
The flavored popcorn.
Flavored popcorn,
Flavored
baby.
popcorn. Also at the Harbor Gallery in Disneyland, I had this the last time I went. First time I had it, and it was fantastic. The lobster roll. Asked for light sauce on it because it was a little bit heavy on the sauce, but it was very good as well. At the Rainforest Cafe in downtown Disney, I hate to admit that I eat at this place, but I really do.
I was judging you
because
silently.
I was about to judge him openly.
Of everything on the menu, this is the only thing that I like. It's the pastalaya. So it's jambalaya with pasta, but get it with rice instead, and it is amazing. Very, very good. Not too spicy, but kind of spicy. Very good. Ralph Brennan's. Man, we have a listener who works there, and last time I went, I hit him up on Facebook and I said, "Hey, I'm at Ralph Brennan's. Are you here?" And I didn't get an answer from him. All I got was a plate of his the poutine etouffee.
Yeah. What is it?
Oh, it's French fries. Okay, so it's,
I know poutine, but I don't know the other French word that you said.
The etouffee is the basically the sauce that goes on it. So it's pulled pork, etouffee sauce, and cheddar and pepper jack cheese on top of French fries.
It's actually what I got as my meal the last time I went there. It was so good.
Honestly, it is. It's big enough and good enough to have as your entire meal.
Well,
it is so good.
My mother-in-law was sitting across from me, and I think there might have been a little judgment, but I was just going to town. Like, I didn't share. She's like, "Isn't that an appetizer?" And I'm like,
We were too busy. We were too busy trying to figure out if we could. We never stopped and said, if we should."
Exactly.
Right? To paraphrase.
Oh, goodness. All right. The last one that I have is actually in California Adventure, and I had this last time I was there, and I now make this at my house. At the in Hollywoodland, there is a looks like a taco truck. It's a studio catering company, and they have tachos. And if you don't know what tachos are tater tot nachos.
What? Tachos are nachos, but way better.
Yeah,
way better.
I've been preaching
So
the
good.
tacho for like 15 years.
It's
Sorry,
amazing.
why
They're
have I
so
never
good.
heard this?
When I read
Really?
that, I thought of you. I knew you would love this.
Of course you did.
So if you make them at home, I like tater tots like crispier than normal,
Crunchy.
but you need to have them a little crunchier to be able to construct the tacho. And it's just that and you literally make nachos with tater
So
tots.
my birthday's in like a week. Just throwing it out.
Tacho
there.
party?
Like tacho party. I don't need
Tacho
a
cake?
I don't need a cake. Tacho cake. We should make it look like something that's not a cake.
Yeah, like tachos.
Like a tachos. Yeah, exactly.
Here, it's your cake. It looks like tater tot nachos. Yeah, but it's cake. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
All right. So lastly, all of the I like beer, and I like to.
Why are you so ashamed?
I'm
by
not
that?
ashamed. I like beer. I like to brew terrible beer as well.
Well, that's probably true.
Yeah, I know it is. So these are my my suggestions for beer or drink to get at the resort. The first one is Beverly's favorite at the Disneyland Hotel at Trader Sam's. They have the Aoa, which is basically a there we go. Yes, I was hoping someone would do that. Go inside. If you're gonna go to Trader Sam's,
Go inside.
Go inside. Go inside and get the full show. It's basically a Mai Tai with cinnamon. Really good. California Adventure at Sonoma Terrace. They have a few good beers actually, but most of the good beers are in bottles. Firestone DBA, Ballast Point Sculpin, and then one of my favorite beers from when I'm down there, Iron Fist Velvet Gloves, the Imperial Oatmeal Stout. Very good. Also, in DCA, they have the Bayside Brews. Completely skip that. It's mostly Bud Light and Carl Strauss and things like that. But they do have some pretty good sangria there. So don't get the beer, get the sangria from there. Downtown Disney at ESPN Zone, they have Pel 31.
I like you poo-pooed Bud Light, but oxidized wine with fruit is okay.
Well,
Sangria is so good.
if you like sangria, that's fine. But if you like beer, you can get better beer at other places in the bar.
That's true, yeah.
So ESPN Zone, they have Pel 31, 90-minute IPA, and they actually have a really good framboise as well. Also downtown Disney at the Uva Bar, the Maui's Coconut Porter, Oscar Blues Old Chub, which is a really good Scottish ale, and then also Ommegang Rare VOS, which are their Belgian Pale. You can also get a beer flight. You can get 4 or 5 ounce pours of what they have on tap, and that's only $10, and that's not bad. Also in California Adventure at the Cove Bar, the Sidecar Noir, which is Sidecar is one of my wife's favorite drinks, but this is made with Fireball whiskey, Cointreau, orange juice, and lemon juice. I would try it.
No, I've broken up with Fireball.
That's a story
Everybody
for
does
a
at some
different
point.
time.
Yeah, but you get back together with them.
Yes, we do. You hook up from time to time. If you like Guinness, go to Rainforest Cafe. They have Guinness on tap as well as Goose Island, but don't support Goose Island. At Ralph Brennan's, they have a Cat 5 Hurricane that's pretty good. And they have a pretty good beer selection, including Abita's Turbo Dog, and Purple Haze. And that's it for me.
Do you ride the rides
Very
when you
good.
go to Disneyland?
No, seriously.
No, I'm just saying these are good things to drink, and I've had all of them from time to time.
In one day.
Not in one day. No, that's not pulling a Terrence. That is not. That's,
All right, Bev, what are you covering? What tips do you
I'm gonna
have for
talk
everybody?
About making the most of your time at Disneyland, as well as where to stay.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with just sort of reiterate some of the things that we've talked about how to make the most. I'm a list person. I'm a big fan of lists. What I like to do is decide the night
Franz?
prior. What?
Nothing. Go ahead. Sorry.
Why do you always do this?
I don't know. It's fun.
Decide the night prior what land I'm going to start with. Then once I decide that, I decide what land I'm going to go to. I try to stick to the lands, meaning I pretty much always start with Fantasyland because it's always the most unpleasant.
Okay.
It's always the most crowded. So
Yeah, especially that Peter Pan, man.
Peter Pan.
And that's really
Always
it,
my
right?
go-to,
Yeah.
right? Well, no, I like Mr. Toad.
No,
it's
but
so
I mean,
weird.
like the bulk of the line.
Bulk of the
Yeah.
worst line, Peter Pan. So I start with that, and then I just go there, and I like to try, and I think it's proven successful to just travel by land. Don't hop between parks. Try not to hop between lands too much. And there's always a person in the group who's not, like my brother-in-law is not a fan of Peter Pan because he's an insane person. So while we rode Peter Pan, we sent him to California Adventure, and he got our fast passes for the Cars ride.
Okay.
Always, also something you want if you want to ride that ride, try to get that early.
That's a good way to do it.
In my experience, the early park hours and the late park hours tend to be a lot less crowded than the 12 to, let's say, 7 o'clock time. So if you have any intention of leaving the park, I would suggest leaving in that block. Try to go early, leave, go get lunch, take a nap, do what you got to do, and then come back and try to hit there for the end because you're going to hit a lot. The lines are going to be a lot better. And that's all I have to say about that. And then I have a little bit more information about hotels.
Okay.
So my personal preference as far as search engines would be Expedia because I'm an Expedia Gold member and I get perks.
Oh, what kind of perks do you get? Like free continental breakfast?
No. Like if I stay in one of their selected hotels, I get upgrades and then they'll give me credits. And
Okay.
like when I went to British Columbia, we stayed in a Expedia whatever VIP hotel or whatever, and they gave us $80 to spend at the hotel. So
That's cool.
Some of our food, it paid for some of our room service.
Well, I guess that's a good point. Like if you're going to use a search engine like the
Try to stick to
hotels.com or whatever,
one.
stick to one because they
Yes.
usually have member benefits.
Exactly.
All right.
I would also say when you are searching to always filter by price.
Okay.
So there's always a filter option, and I say this because randomly, about 5-6 years ago, I wanted to go to Hawaii, but I didn't have any money. So I was just living vicariously through myself. I don't know.
Through posted photos on hotels.com?
Yes. So I just decided to start seeing like what we could get, like what the cost would be. And
Okay.
I sorted by I searched the island I wanted to go to, and I sorted by price. And I ended up finding a trip for 10 days to not Oahu, Kauai. Hotel, 4-star hotel, two-room suite, and our airfare was $600 a person.
Wow.
For 10 days.
Wow. That's insane.
It was insane. And I've never seen that deal ever again. But I'm saying that they exist. You just have to look
You
for
broke
them.
Expedia.
She done.
Yeah. Well, and then also that trip gave you a kid. So there's that.
We're not going to talk about
I
that.
wasn't going to say anything.
We already did.
Well, you don't have to.
It was cool.
Yeah.
I got to go with some of my really good friends. It cost us $600.
Weird that Tara and I were involved in that.
I didn't
Yeah.
really know you guys that well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That was pre-friendship.
It was.
We
It was a
knew
fun.
each other.
It was a fun trip.
It was fun. Becca was pregnant. She didn't have that much fun.
Angry Becca was very angry.
She was
She was
angry.
prangry.
She was almost in her final
Prangry.
form.
Yeah, she was.
So on all of my trips to Disneyland, I'm a little Finding a good hotel price is kind of my thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but I've never paid more than $100 a night for a hotel. Not once.
But you also complain
Skeptical
about
Greg
the
looks-
hotels that you stay in a lot.
Sometimes they've been
Yeah.
crappy.
Skeptical Greg looks skeptical.
I'm not going to say I haven't had a couple duds. It's happened. But I will say I've had some pretty great ones.
See, I'm the opposite. I sort by distance, because to me, walking less is worth more money.
And that's not the case to me, because if I'm going to walk 10 miles around an amusement park, what's another half mile back to my hotel?
I've been with you.
That's the longest half mile.
That's the longest half mile ever, and I've been with you when you're like, I'm miserable, like you can't even we can't even talk to you because you're just going, don't talk to me, it hurt. My feet, it hurt my brain.
I can corroborate this story.
Yeah.
Again, it's true, but it's not going to change the fact that it doesn't matter. Like, the price always wins out to me personally.
Okay.
That being said, I think it's really important to find the right window when you're booking a hotel. So, what I've found successful is to try to just find a time frame that I want to go to Disneyland, not an exact weekend, because that you don't know. Like, it's better to have some time to work with because the prices change, obviously. When you book a hotel, say you find one, you get a great deal or an okay deal, but it's within walking distance and it's where you want to be and whatever, but you're not in love with it, you're not married to it.
Mm-hmm.
Keep looking. You can always find a better deal, and you can always cancel that hotel almost always with no penalties.
Okay.
Unless you choose like the no refunds room, which
some places have that where you can pay extra to be able to cancel at any time.
Exactly. I would say pay the extra to be able to cancel, because if you find a better deal, then you'll end up saving money.
Yeah.
And I went through and I actually searched Expedia for hotels that I have stayed at, and I sorted them by stars.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to give some prices that are available right now. So for this weekend, if you're going to Disneyland this weekend and you don't have a hotel, you're crazy. And the Portofino, which I have stayed at and I thought was quite nice, it's a little bit of a walk, is $115. The nice Ramada, there's two crappy Ramadas and there's one nice one on Catella. That's $119 right now, and the Hotel Menage is $119 also.
Don't stay at the Hotel Menage.
Isn't bad.
That's the worst.
It's not the worst.
That's the one across the overpass.
It's over the overpass.
It's a 20-minute walk.
It is not. I walked there.
So have we. It's a 22-minute walk from door to entry point.
And it was uphill too a little bit.
My God.
Is there pictures of my girlfriend Nikki everywhere?
Menage.
I get it.
No, bro.
I was like, I don't know.
If you're going to Disneyland Labor Day weekend and you don't have a hotel, don't go.
Right.
The prices are terrible. So some of the same hotels that I looked at before, like the Eden Rock, which I have for $109 the week prior, is $299 that week.
Wow.
There's a Holiday Inn on Manchester, which is right behind the Water Park Hotel, the Howard Johnson Water Park Hotel.
Oh, yeah,
which
okay.
is never on sale. A Holiday Inn, it's right behind there. Throughout my research, it's $88. Like, it's just consistently $88.
Pretty standard. That's cool.
Which is a great
solid.
price.
Yeah.
It has free parking and Wi-Fi.
Oh, very nice. Oh, and I think the Holiday Inn has a free happy hour. I remember staying there once.
What?
Mm-hmm. But who's at the hotel at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? You know, that's the other thing.
It's true. It's true. Let's say you're gonna go the week. These are weekday prices of August 22nd through August 26th. You can get the Holiday Inn again for $88. There was a mystery hotel option.
Mystery hotel.
Have you ever
option.
done that? Because it terrifies me.
I have, and actually, I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
I've done it 3 times. I have been
you're brave.
burned 2 times to the point where one night I didn't even stay. I left the hotel in the middle of the night because they quote unquote listed it as a 3-star hotel. It was I forget what the hotel chain is called, but it's like it's a standard hotel chain. I would
like
think
Super 8 or Motel 6.
It was nicer than that. It was the Red Lion.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. No, I heard rodents in the wall, like the scratching noise.
Not at Disneyland.
No.
Okay,
This
okay.
is in Sacramento.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Hard pass. We left.
Yeah.
And by we, I mean I, because I was alone.
Yeah.
The Hotel Menage that week, apparently don't stay there.
Look, it's a fine hotel. They have a good bar.
$105.
And they have a cool pool. Was that?
Tropic-
No, that's not the Hotel Menage. Where did we just stay? That with Push and the kids.
That was the Marriott.
Marriott. Okay, never mind.
The Tropicana, which is right across the street, $93.
Huh.
Okay.
It must be.
Yeah, like the farther you go out, it's cheaper for
Yeah.
sure.
But not that far because I have plans to stay in October,
Yeah.
and I can't find a hotel when I'm staying or when I'm going for under $100. I'm spending $107. This is the first time I've ever broken $100. I'm offended.
You'll make it.
But September 5th through September 9th, the week of Memorial Day, again, Holiday Inn, $88, Hotel Menage, $91. The Annabella, which I've never seen cheap, is $96
Pretty good.
that week. There's also a place where I've stayed, the Cortona Inn and Suites.
Mm-hmm.
Quite nice. Kind of a walk. It's a solid half mile. $76.
Okay.
But I'm
Sounds
just
good.
saying, do your research. Try to find a block of time. Look around. You're going to find a good deal.
Cool.
Excellent.
She done.
All right, Taryn, go for it. What tips do you have, dude?
I have, my first one is the best times to go. So we've talked a lot on this show about when to go to Disneyland, and we say never because there's not really ever a good time anymore. But I think that there actually are a couple of good times. I have a few pros and cons, and it kind of depends on what you're going for. If you're going for, if you want to go to Disneyland and ride as many rides as you can, I would suggest, I hate doing this because I don't want people to know my secret, but I would suggest going the second week of September because it is, or even the third actually, but the Memorial Day's over. Everybody's just gone back to school. Nobody's taking their kids out of school that week.
Mm-hmm.
So the park itself is a lot less crowded than normal, and Halloween hasn't started yet. So you're kind of in between everything. Just for it's literally like 2 weeks. The cons are it's likely that Haunted Mansion's going to be shut down because they're for the overlay.
Yeah, I think they turned that on mid-September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also Space Mountain might be down if they do that overlay as well. So those are two big rides that you
Hate that overlay.
might not do.
It's better than Hyperspace Mountain. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
right now.
I do like it better than Hyperspace.
Yeah.
But another time would be February. Just generally February, I think, is a pretty good. The
Okay.
pro is like Christmas is over, so and kids are back in school again. You're probably not taking kids out in February. Aside from President's Day weekend, there's no big holidays that Disneyland celebrates, so you're pretty much in the clear of that. The cons is the weather might be unpredictable. Well, let's be honest. I'm sure you're fine.
Unpredictable LA weather is something you can deal with.
Yeah, totally. It might rain for 30 seconds.
You have to buy a poncho or 5.
Yeah. And again, it's possible that Haunted Mansion could be down. Usually I think it's back up by then, but you never know. And again, Space Mountain also could be down. If you're not concerned about rides and you're going for like holiday decorations or just like general mood, I would suggest October, November, because they have awesome decorations. The giant pumpkin. Everybody likes to take a picture in front of the giant pumpkin. There's Halloween parties. The Nightmare Before Christmas overlay, if you're into that or if you've never seen that, that's great. The cons are it's totally crowded. Every single day it's going to be crowded. Another con is that you got to really check your hours, the hours that the park is open, because it shuts down really early, like 6 o'clock early during the Halloween parties. And they've been extending those Halloween parties, so now it's like every Friday, Saturday. So definitely check that out if you go October, November, or October, I guess. And then again, possible weather issues, but I wouldn't worry too much about that. And then November, December. Now you're past Halloween, you're on Christmas. Super crowded still. But there's snow on Main Street. You got fireworks. I don't know. To me, that makes it all worth it. I don't need to ride any rides. The characters are dressed up in their holiday decor, which is very cute. There's special events that are extremely hard to get into, but like the candlelight processional. And then the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay. Some cons are, like I already said, you're not going to ride any rides. Likely.
Right. Pretty much,
very
maybe
few.
1 or 2, yeah.
And it's very, very crowded. Don't expect it to not be crowded. Next up, I have some tips to help you save some money on your next trip. One, bring lunch and snacks, or snacks. Bring food. Replace at least a meal. That way you're
just one meal.
Just one meal.
Right.
Bring a sandwich, bring some snacks, bring something, an apple, anything that you can eat in line that's easy. You could stop off and eat, but just replacing a meal is going to save you so much money. Also, sharing meals, especially at like Rancho de Zocalo, they have giant portions. You could easily share a meal, and then if you're still hungry, just go back again. Or get a churro. Also, another one, plan to go to the park, or plan to go to just one park per day. If you're going on this big vacation, we talk a lot about park hoppers because we all have them, and honestly, I would always prefer it that way. But, if I'm coming from another state and I'm here for 5 days, you're probably totally fine getting single-day tickets, and it's going to end up being a lot cheaper. If you stay at one of the resort hotels, maybe plan to take a one-day park break. Use the resort as it's a resort. There's a lot of really cool pools. There's nice restaurants. There's all kinds of things you can do where you're not in the park. Also, downtown Disney. Spend a whole day, hanging out there if you can. I don't know. Sleep a lot. Some people say I was looking some things up, and some people say to buy souvenirs in advance, but I don't think I would suggest that for a couple of reasons. I don't know. I guess I would argue that setting yourself and or your kids with like a budget to use would be a better plan, because for me at least, like buying something at Disneyland is so much more fun than buying it and then bringing it to Disneyland.
Well, that's what makes it a souvenir.
Right.
Like, otherwise, you know what I mean? Otherwise, you're buying it before you go, like online or something.
Yeah.
And that, then you pick it up there. But I don't know. It's supposed to remind you of the trip,
there,
right?
You just bring it. So, like, you buy your kid a T-shirt, you buy your kid a thing, and you say, oh, look, hey, we're going to Disneyland.
And that's your souvenir from the park, and you can't get anything from the park? Yeah, that's ridiculous. I don't like it.
Well, this is a way that people are saying to save money.
Yeah.
I disagree. I say give your kid $10 and let them choose something. If it's a stupid pen, it's still a stupid pen that they got at Disneyland, and they're going to be real excited.
Right.
But I did have a little tip. If your kid wants to get characters' autographs, have them make the autograph book ahead of time. Just get a cheap notebook, a cheap journal. Have them put stickers on it, paint on it, do whatever they need to do, make it theirs, and then bring that. And then you don't have to pay the $10, $15 for the little autograph book. And another one, of course, the other exception to this is buy a pair of Covers, because then you don't have to buy yourself another hat or another headband.
Plug of the Year award.
Well played. Those are the only two exceptions to that rule. Another one that I had for getting around. If you're planning to drive to Disneyland and park your car, parking right now is $18 a day. Every year that's going to keep going up because it has. The last few times Jason and I have went, we've been in hotels a little bit further away, and we'll take an Uber. And it's like one time it was $4. One time it was like a little more expensive. It was $7. That's still less than parking.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier. It was really easy. They just dropped us off at one of the hotels. We just walked into the park.
And then you can stay at a farther away hotel.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, yeah, I would suggest checking out Uber or Lyft if you're planning on not going back and forth to the park. Because parking at $18 a day is kind of crazy.
That's
Yeah,
insane.
that's insane.
Like, if you're going for 5 days, it's more than $100.
Yeah. Yeah. And then my last one for saving money is if you just had kids, go as often as possible until they're 3, because they're free.
Yeah. Yes.
3. Yes.
Until they're quote
Until
unquote
they're
3.
quote
yes.
unquote 3.
In Disney years.
And hopefully they're small children and you can keep on going. Yeah. And then my last little tidbit here is tours. So it's interesting. Jason and I have done several tours. I think Terrence did a tour. Did
No.
you? No, you didn't. You never did one?
No, I didn't.
Well, you don't have many options anymore. Their tours have like diminished insane. There's only 4 available, and 2 of them are seasonal.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, the 2 available are the VIP tours. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I went on Disney's website and I could not find anything but these 2 tours. The VIP tour, which is extremely expensive, nobody can afford it
Like
unless you're Kim
$300 or
Kardashian.
something?
Oh, it's more than that. It's like you have to have like a party of 10, and it's like $300 a person.
Oh, that's rude.
Yeah, it's insane. And I don't quote me on that because I don't know if that's the actual number. You have to call and find out. And then the Walk and Walt's Footsteps tour is also still available. Although, do know that now they don't go to the apartment; they actually go to the Dream Suite. So make sure you know that before going in. And then the other 2 that are available but not available at the moment are Disney's Happiest Haunt tours and Holiday Time at Disneyland tour. So there's 2 tours. It's
right.
it's insane.
That's
there used
crazy.
to be. I mean, I think that we did at least 4 of them.
There was like a foliage of
I was
Disneyland
going to say, you did
tour
like
as well.
the flower one.
Yeah, there was we did so many. We did a Disney Adventure or California Adventure one. We've done a lot of them, and now there's 2, and really only one that you can actually do.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was kind of crazy, and something that I haven't heard anyone talk about it, and I was like, huh, weird.
I wonder if
Thanks,
just because
Shanghai Disney.
well,
Yeah.
I wonder if the
Budget
parks
cuts.
are just so crowded. Because
Maybe.
the last one we went on, the Walk in Walt's Footsteps, we were crawling through crowds. I mean, it was
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real interesting, but those are my tips.
Okay.
Or I guess my tip for tours is just do Walk in Walt's footsteps. Don't do it. I don't care about it. You won't care about any of that.
Yeah. Well, now you go to the Dream Suite. You don't go into Walt's apartment anymore.
I
So
said-
don't
I
think that you're going to. Oh, okay.
I just said.
Okay, I heard you. Thank you. Okay, so my tips are on taking photos in the parks because I see a lot of people doing it wrongly, incorrectly. So number one, and again, look, we take our photos, right, to enhance our memories of the park, and everyone has cameras on their phones these days, and so it's kind of just what we do. We always have a camera. We're used to having cameras, so we think we should take photos all the time. So number one, here's a tip: never use your flash. You never have to use your flash in Disneyland. Disneyland is all about the ambiance, and they work hard at crafting that by their use of shadows and light. So if something is so dark that you have to use your flash, this is by design. Using your flash will only serve to take a blown-out photo with little background detail, and it will ruin the ambiance for everyone else around you. And I think that's what these tips really are. It's, we're in this together, folks. Okay, it's not just about you. So you pull out your flash and you're flashing photos and you're taking a bunch of photos. You're blinding other people and you're bothering other people. So you don't need it. You actually don't. You really don't need it. Because really, the software on our phones can handle the low light levels now. So anyway, just something to be aware of. If you want a good photo, do that. Don't take photos on rides. Again, they're too dark for most photos to turn out properly. So please don't even try it. Again, you pull your phone out and unlock your screen, and the room gets blasted with the light from your screen, which bothers me so much. Like in Haunted Mansion, like you walk in the room, you walk in the elevator, and the doors close, and it's low lit, and everyone wants to take photos of everything, but you can't.
Right.
So people are using their flash, and all that light bouncing around the room.
You're absolutely right.
The glow of the screen. It's just like this is it's no longer the ride that it's supposed to be. You're paying a lot of money to have a designed experience, and you're actually ruining it
I agree.
for people. So just pay attention. And something that I know people aren't doing maliciously, but you want to try to take photos to remember it. But how many times have you looked at your photos in your phone? I mean, never.
Yeah.
Pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Unless they're memes that you screenshotted, you want to send around to people. But for the most part, we're just a photo-taking society now. We don't need to do it. Just enjoy your time. Enjoy your place. Walking through the queue, totally fine, totally warranted. But when you're on a ride, you're part of that ride, and nothing is more distracting than seeing corners of the mansion lit up via phone screens and flashes. Be respectful is the next tip I have. I'm sure folks don't do this on purpose, but stopping in the middle of the walkway for your selfie snarls that walkway up and creates a traffic jam. If you feel the need for photos, please try stepping aside and letting folks pass you. That way, we can all just move along. We can get to where we want to go. You can still do your duck face. Is duck face a thing still?
No, it's not.
It's not?
No.
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay. Taryn keeps up with the Kardashians, so I have to ask her because she would, right? They do duck face all. See, there you go. Try to position the camera and the subject in the same light. It's a pro tip. If you're taking the photo and you are in the sun, ask your subject to move into the sunlight. Most digital cameras can compensate for the light difference, but it's still good practice to remember. I see a lot of people, like in Tomorrowland, it's kind of hard. I'm in the sun, standing, taking a photo, and you're in the shade. Like it's not going to compensate very well. So we have to be both kind of in the same light. Here's another one that I thought was pretty important. Don't feel obligated to take photos. In fact, taking less photos will help you remember more. And I remember coming across this article from Time, because I'm really highbrow these days. And this was a study in the journal called Psychological Science from Fairfield University. And this lady, the Heckler, calls it the photo-taking impairment effect. She says if participants took a photo of each object as a whole, they remember fewer objects and remember fewer details about the objects and the location within the experiment. So actually taking a bunch of photos rather than taking experience prevents memories from actually fully taking root. Just be present and enjoy the ride. You've seen Haunted Mansion 100 times. You like the Haunted Mansion. We were on, I forget what ride. I think it was Monster Inc. a few years ago, and these gals in front of the car were taking photos of every scene, and they're like, Chandra's gonna love this ride. I want to show it to her, and she's like taking photos, and I'm like, how you're not even watching, you're not even looking at the ride, and you're bugging me. There's also a bunch of cool apps out there to enhance your photos. Taryn, you like the Prisma or whatever?
Yeah, it's so awesome.
Of course, Instagram's super popular, but if you're looking to do something different, try grabbing an HDR app. HDR stands for High Dynamic Range, and basically lets you play with the low, medium, and high ranges on a photo, which brings out different ranges of light within the same photo. If you've ever seen those super contrasty images that have colors in them that don't really make sense for that time of day, like a super intense sunset with a bunch of different colors that you've never seen in real life, that's probably HDR. Some apps will take 3 photos, one overexposed, one perfectly exposed, and one underexposed. Then the app stitches them together to give the best of all 3 exposures, and you can highlight that kind of stuff. So if you want to be creative and take some fancy photos on your phone, check out some photo apps. And that was really it for photos. The last one I have is kind of tongue-in-cheek. You know those bright, flashing, glowing necklaces and ears and lightsabers and stuff? Don't buy those. And if you buy them for your kid, turn them off. Last time we went, there were 3 kids in the Haunted Mansion that had their glow necklaces on, and they were strobing, right?
That's
through
horrible.
the entire ride, dude. Through the entire ride. And, like, we're in the seance room, and there they come. And I'm like, oh, geez, dude.
Yeah.
How do you, as a parent, how do you not get super annoyed? How do you not have a seizure? I don't know. I don't understand that kind of stuff like that. And I don't know. I like Disneyland a lot, and I think part of it is because you feel the sense of community, because you're there enjoying something that everybody else is enjoying with you. Why, be respectful of other people. You don't throw your trash on the ground because littering is bad and makes you look like a bad person. But so does keeping your glowing, flashing thing on at night. Like, just turn it off. Let's enjoy this together.
I agree.
I actually hate the kiosks that come out when the sun, as soon as the sun goes down with all the light up toys. Like, I think it's actually really tacky.
I think it's super. Yes, exactly right. It is super tacky.
Like,
it's super tacky.
We know you're making money. Like,
right.
You don't need to do this.
We're not Great America.
Put them in a store. Put them like they don't. You don't need to walk right in front of my kid and make her not appreciate the fact that we're here, like, because she doesn't have that flashing necklace that I'm not gonna spend $17 on.
You know what it's like? It's like being at the county fair, which is exactly what Walt didn't want.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of tacky. Tacky is the right word. Okay, is that it?
We have a window.
We have a window. Jeez.
I'll go fast.
Let's not do it.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's do it.
Go ahead.
Okay. It's not very long. Okay. This window is Walthall Rogers.
That's not a real name. If you're going to do it, Taryn.
You're right. I made this one up,
Okay.
but it's really important to me. Walthall Rogers was born on June 29th, 1919 in Stratton, Colorado. And as a boy, he would sculpt one-of-a-kind toys out of household items and other scrap materials. This is what led him to his career as, well, I'll just get to it, never mind. In 1937, he entered Chouinard Art Institute in Los Angeles, and then in 1938, he joined Walt Disney Studios, working his way up from assistant animator to animator, and worked on such films as Pinocchio and Bambi. In 1943, he joined World War II and enlisted in the United States Marine Corps, serving as a staff sergeant in the photographic section. After the war, he returned to Disney's animation department, where he contributed to Alice in Wonderland, Cinderella, Peter Pan, Lady and the Tramp, and Sleeping Beauty. In his downtime, Walthall continued to... In his downtime, Walthall continued to sculpt and build toys, including model railroads, which, of course, caught the attention of Walt Disney. Disney soon asked him to sculpt props and miniatures for live-action films and television, including The Absent-Minded Professor, The Mickey Mouse Club, and Zorro. In 1954, Walt asked Walthall to help develop the model shop for Disneyland. Rogers, along with Fred Jorger and Harriet Burns, were known as the WED Model Shop. Together, they modeled and sculpted the designs for Disneyland and various Disney productions. One of Walthall's greatest challenges came when Walt assigned him to research and construct a 9-inch tall figure of a moving and talking man. It was called, quote-unquote, Project Little Man. This project became the prototype for audio animatronics technology. In the early 1960s, Walthall continued to pioneer this new technology. He developed a robotic Abraham Lincoln for Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, which debuted in 1964 and 65 New York World's Fair. He also contributed to Pirates of the Caribbean and Jungle Cruise Ride audio animatronics and the American Adventure at Epcot Center. He helped create the first walking audio animatronic figure, Benjamin Franklin. Walthall became known as Mr. Audio Animatronics. And in 1987, he retired from the Walt Disney Company after 48 years with Disney. Roger was named a Disney legend in 1995, and he unfortunately passed away on August 25th, 2000. He has 2 windows. He has one in Disneyland, and that's located above the New Century Timepieces and Jewelry on Main Street. His inscription on it says, "You'll cut a fine figure, menswear." He also has a window in Disney World, and he shares this window with Yale Gracie, Bud Martin, and Ken O'Brien. It's above the Main Street Confectionery on Main Street, USA, Magic Kingdom. And the inscription on that one is, "Buena Vista Magic Lantern Slides. Treat your friends to our special tricks." And that is Walthall Rogers.
Very good. I heard his brother Crepe sold heroin on Sunset, but that's a different window.
Yes.
Okay, very good, Taryn. Awesome. Here's the fact of the show, and then we're going to get out of here. In the 1930s, Walt had his animation studio running more like a factory than ever before. According to Nancy Macy, who worked in the ink and paint department, she says, quote, "There were people who did nothing but time the inkers. You had 5 minutes to ink a Mickey Mouse cell and a little longer for certain characters in Fantasia. Charts were made of where you stood above and below the average time. They even had people who would come along and fill your ink wells for you. It was a 6-day week, 8 hours a day, with a 15-minute break in the afternoon and a lunch as well." That seems horrible.
Yeah.
But apparently people were just super loyal to Walt because he pushed everybody to do the best. But, it doesn't sound like the best working conditions. I mean, but the guy was like trying to time everything just so you didn't have to. You wanted the inkers to just be inking.
Six Sigma right there.
Right?
Some engineering.
Yeah, I mean, think about how much wasted time to pick up their tissues on the floor and clean up their space and refill the well. No, pay someone a third of that money, refill everything. You can ink more.
All the jobs he made.
Right?
I actually really admire it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, thanks everyone for sticking with us. Don't forget to go to the blog and do all that kind of stuff, and we'll see you in the parks.